Okay, so we've taken a look at the HTML structure. This is at a bare minimum the tags that you want on any HTML document. You may even want to keep this handy so that in the future, if you're ever creating HTML documents, you've got a template. They're also pretty easy to find on the web. What I want to talk about is content in HTML, right? So the whole purpose here is to get content on a page. So when we look at other websites like Facebook's homepage, we're seeing all of this content here. We're seeing these images here. We're seeing bold text and then, normal text and larger text here and some form fields and things like that. These are the common elements we see quite a bit, right? All over the web. You're basically going to either see text, images, forms, buttons, or videos. And you might see a few other things, but those are the main forms of content that you see throughout the web. Think about all of the web pages you've ever come across. That's usually what you see, right? So we're using HTML simply to add content. Now, keep in mind the look and feel, these graphics like the blue of the Facebook header and these colors and the color of the button, we're going to use a different language to add those colors. So HTML actually on its own looks kind of boring. It's usually just text, images, videos, and maybe form fields, the basic elements on a page. And it usually just gets kind of left aligned on a document. If you have ever looked at just a skeleton raw HTML document, they look pretty bare bones. So it's the CSS that really gives it all this look and feel. So the good thing is that HTML is really easy to pick up. So let's get started looking at some of the different types of content. Let's start with typography. So let's start with text. What are the different ways we can add text to an HTML document? And there are a few ways, but these are the main ways that you're going to see. Number one, you're going to see the paragraph tag. This is a very common form of HTML that you're going to see. And it's just like this. You have an opening P tag and then it's closing P tag. And so inside this, we can put any kind of paragraph. You can, for example, put just a random, piece of body text in there. So let's just add something. Now, if I save this file and then go back over here and refresh it, you'll see that here we go, a paragraph tag has been dropped into this HTML document. Again, nothing exciting, but you will see this quite a bit in HTML, the P tags. Now, in terms of headers, like when you see something like this and you've got an important kind of call out on the web page or, important directive where you're asking someone to do something, these main headers here, there is a special tag we use for those, and it's the H1 tag. And it looks like that. So the opening H1 is like this, and then let's get this indentation right. The closing one looks like that. And keep in mind the way I'm kind of indenting these nested elements, right? So we're working inside the body tags right now because anything in the body tag, remember, that's going to show up in this white space of the browser window here. So notice the indentation. I do one tab over from the left if I'm going to nest something. And we'll see that if we nest further, we're going to do yet another tab in. And you'll see things can get nested many levels in. So continuing what we were talking about with header tags here, we could say, this is our call out. So you always want to put the most important header of any, web page inside these H1 tags here. So now you'll see the default H1 looks like this in an HTML document. Now you get up to 6 different header sizes by default from HTML. So you could do something like that, and if I refresh after saving, you'll see it's a little bit smaller than the H1 tag. So just keep that in mind. The largest text on your site should be, other than maybe a logo, should be your H1 tag. And then from there, you can want to kind of go down, any other headers, you'll want to use the H2, H3, and it goes all the way up to H6. And I'll show you what that looks like. If I refresh, there you go. That's what an H6 looks like. So you can do all the way from H1 to H6. And just remember that you need the matching opening and closing tags for each of these. So that's a little bit about typography.